In today's job market, a resume tells people what you've done, but a personal brand tells them who you are and why it matters. Today's guest, Sandra Baas, specializes in cross-cultural communication and personal brand storytelling. She's worked across global industries and helps professionals turn their experiences, values, and voice into a brand that stands out without trying to fit into someone else's template. If you ever felt like your resume doesn't fully capture your potential, this conversation is about how to position yourself so opportunities find you. Sandra, welcome to Sweatpants and Suits. Like every episode, how did your story begin?
Hi, thank you for having me. Well, my story began when I decided to accept a job from the Netherlands to Spain. I started in luxury hospitality, and there I very quickly found that it was a lot of fun. But languages can be very challenging because we're not born with 10 languages. And one thing is the language we learn at school. Another thing is that you really submerge yourself into different cultures. And that's what I did for years in the hotels. And that's where you actually really learn that people, even though you translate what you're saying, it's not exactly the same meaning between one language and the other. The culture difference is big. And that's how I actually learned how to read a room.
Okay, impressive story. You built your careers across different countries and industries. So, what made you realize that cross cultural communication is a superpower in today's workplace?
As I said before, if you can learn a language, but you have to learn how to read a room. You have to understand people because what you can say in one language, even though you translate it, it's not exactly the same for somebody from a totally different culture. And once you understand that and you can see it and you can really learn how to read a room and see a person and how he moves and how he reacts, that's a superpower.
Reading the room is your superpower. Wonderful. And I remember you telling me this story about how the Netherlands is very hospitable, but then in American culture, it's more pushy. So, what's the difference between European and American ways of communicating sales?
I would say if you're in sales, especially in luxury sales, but in sales in general, when you're in Europe, first you make the conversation, you build trust, and then you try to make a sale. Here in America, everything is quick, it's fast, facts. So you really have to see the person that's in front of you and understand that that person most probably already checked out the bag, or it's just that's what she wants as an example, and just go for it. It's faster. They don't need as much pampering in wording as they do in Europe, but they do accept like the coffee and the champagne, but normally it's faster. It's more straight to the point in America than it is in Europe in general. Of course, there's always exceptions, but there is quite a big difference in culture.
Quite a big difference in culture. So you lived in Spain, you've been to several other European countries. Let's just say that I walk into the store, like in Netherlands. How would a salesperson try to get me to buy something versus how American would sell to me?
Okay, so normally in the Netherlands, you will see when you go to a good boutique, the first thing they're going to do is ask you how you are and offer you something to drink. Most of the time, you will even see candies and other treats that are in the store. It's like a very friendly, no pushing environment. Nice. It's friendly, but sometimes they don't really go to the point fast enough, but it's in general a good experience.
Very good experience. But then
Yes.
in
But
America, it wouldn't
it's
in
slower.
America it wouldn't be that cold, right? But it would still be hospitable, but in a different sense, right?
Right. It's different because an American normally is more in the American culture is more in a rush. It's all faster. And for example, I live in South Florida, which is very slow if you compare with New Jersey or New York. New Yorkers come and they're used to very fast transactions in general. So you will see them come in and maybe I'm a little bit more past when I would sell and they would get it. on their nerves, but he was like, come on, hurry up, because they're used to that, right? So it's a different kind of selling, faster. Of course you offer something to drink, of course you do in the high-end stores, but the whole transaction can be finished very quickly, maybe in, if it's not clothing, if it's like handbags, most probably in 20-30 minutes you're finished. If you are doing that same thing in Spain, maybe they come back 3 times before they make up their mind. And that's okay. You just stay in touch and they'll be back.
So the difference is that in Europe, they value more personal connections versus in America, where like if you like something, you should buy it. That type of mentality. That's
They're just
awesome.
fast. They know
Fast.
what they want. It clicks much faster. In Europe, I won't say that nobody ever buys something fast, but normally you will see them. They come in once, twice, maybe 3 times, and you just stay in contact with them. Of course, you don't want to lose a client, but they normally need a little bit more time.
Awesome. And how did your own personal brand evolve before you started helping others build theirs?
My own personal brand started not so long ago, because when you work in luxury retail, you're not really supposed to have a personal brand because you're part of the brand. That's where you sign up for. So when you start creating your own brand, so in my case, I decided that I could help people so much more instead of just selling, which is not my passion. I like it, but it's not my passion. But I'm very good at reading the room. I'm very good at helping people with their personal brands. You have to build first your own personal brand when you're going to make a company. You cannot just out of the blue be there and that people say, oh, I'm going to work with that person. It doesn't work that way. You have to build your personal brand. It's very important. I would recommend everybody, especially when you're still in school and you can do it. There's no company that will tell you that you're not allowed to do it. Build your personal brand. It's so important.
Building your personal brand should be like a school project, like a final capstone project that really highlights who you are and how you can show the world that you're more employable. But they don't do that in school. That's one of the niche things that you do for people, is that you help them build their personal story into like a cover page, right? Like a magazine, and it just pushes out them more towards the world. So when you are building a personal brand, people often feel awkward talking about themselves. How do you turn your story into a brand without sounding like you're bragging?
I think that we believe many times that people look much more at us than they really do. People are so busy with their own business that we are not so important. And they don't care if we make a mistake. And we are so scared to make a mistake or to make a wrong post on an Instagram page or a LinkedIn page. It doesn't matter. People are not going to be looking at you all the time. Don't worry about it. Go for it. It's so important. And you build it little by little. You start learning. You will see that your public is going to give likes to things they really like, and other things they're going to ignore you. And that's a lesson for you. It's okay. And what is bragging? Like telling that you had good scores at school? I think that those are facts. You can tell that. Why not? But also tell your failures. People love to see that. You can say, oh man, I was great in English, but I never learned how to speak German. Okay, big deal. But people will see themselves in your story. You know, when you tell your story, your good things and the bad things, all you're doing is storytelling, and people see themselves in your story. So it's not bragging, it's just you share your experience, which is okay.
Sharing your experience help highlight you even more. Wonderful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When, for example, someone early in their career with very little limited experience, how can they still build authority online?
You don't need a lot of experience. We all go through life. We all have experiences. People that are still in school can talk about the project that they are doing in the school. Maybe they have a little part-time job. You know how many people work, for example, in a fast food place? And you can make a whole story out of that. Everything has a story. It doesn't matter what you do. You just have to use your imagination. How can I make this sound in a way that other people see themselves inside of my story. And that's when it clicks. That's when people say, oh, I'm going to follow this person because it's interesting what he's saying, or it's fun. You can also be somebody that is telling funny stories and you're still building your brand.
That is awesome. And for someone who is trying to build their personal brand, what are three things they can do in small steps that they can do this week?
What I would recommend, start writing. Start, even if it's a small post, start writing. Get into the practice of writing. You can use AI to correct you, but you write. Don't have ChatGPT, for example, write a post for you. Don't do that. Write your story, even if it's not perfect. Then you paste it into ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT or Cloud. For example, right now, Cloud is very in because they're a little bit better at the moment as ChatGPT. You know, that every week or month that changes a little bit. And ask the AI directly, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with my storytelling? What should I do to improve my text? Make it a daily habit to write. Make sure that your about section in your LinkedIn page is not about you. It's about other people and how you can help them.
It's about helping other people. Oh, wow. Okay.
Always. People are
Always.
interested in themselves. People
Mm.
are selfish in that sense. If there's nothing in it for them, they're not gonna look for your page. They don't care. It has to be something that clicks with them.
And I also like the way that you said that was you need to put your own original thought down on paper or like on a computer first before you take it to the AI. You have to own your work. That's
It,
what I find very
it
important.
absolutely, it's your story.
Mm.
Never make it a robot's story. We don't need more of that. Nobody cares. You see it a lot when you go to pages, 10 tips to improve writing, and it's copy paste from an AI machine. It's not interesting. But now you can say, oh, I was listening the other day to a podcast and they told me that I had to write every day. So I started writing and oh, I made so many mistakes, and you keep on going. Storytelling. So people reflect what you are saying, they feel it. Oh yeah, that's exactly what happened to me when I started writing. I made so many mistakes. Let's see what this guy is saying. Oh, he says that I have to start with a strong hook, for example. And that's how you teach people, but out of your own experience, not just a copy paste from a robot. Nobody wants that.
Being human has its own flavors, right?
We are humans and we connect with humans. We do not connect with the machine.
We do not connect with machine. How has building your own brand changed the opportunities that come to you?
Building my own brand has opened so many doors already for me. I get to meet people all over the world, which is exciting. I have conversations I would have never had if I was not on the platform because I would be moving in my own little circle. Now, since I work from home, my clients are from all over. There are days that I talk with Europe first because it's earlier. Then I talk in the US, and later on I talk with Australia and Vietnam. It's exciting. It opens the world. That's why I always say make sure you speak at least one more language, never just one. Learn another one and make sure you open those doors for yourself. Be present, be there, be a brand. You don't need to be the biggest brand. You don't need to be the most important person on the platform, but be there. Do your networking, comment on other people's posts, not just, oh, cool. That doesn't work. Read and say something about what this person really was talking about. Add something to the conversation so they see that you know how to talk and that you're not just saying, oh, cool. And that way they get interested in you and you get interested in them. It's just like when you are in school. What do? You talk to people. Being on a platform means that you have to open yourself to people. And it's super interesting. In my case, it opened a whole new world for me. And I'm loving it. Not just a little bit, I'm really enjoying it.
being interested in people genuinely helps you open doors.
Of course. People connect with people. People do not connect with machines. Machines are there to help us. But we want a person. I want to know what you think. I don't want to know what ChatGPT thinks. I want to know what Pepito thinks in Spain. And I want to know what Manuel thinks in Buenos Aires. And I want to know what my friend Osama thinks in Pakistan or in India. Very important. I want to know people. I don't want to know a machine.
You work with people globally, and I'm sure that the audience comes from all over the world. How can the audience reach out to you?
If somebody would like to get in touch with me, I'm always on LinkedIn. My
LinkedIn.
name, you will recognize my picture. It's always with a green background. I have my own website. It's sandrabaas.com. You can also write an email, info@sandrabaas.com, or they can get in touch with you. You know where to find me.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to link all your links down to the podcast description so the audience can reach out to you more easily.
Wonderful. That sounds great. And if I can be of any help for students, I won't charge a penny. They can get in touch with me if they want to start with their personal brand, and I will give them the first guidance, okay?
Thank you so much, Sandra. You have been an absolutely amazing person to talk to. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure to be here.
Sweatpants and Suits interviews the world's most interesting career professionals, uncovering lessons, setbacks, and breakthroughs that shape fulfilling careers. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, share, or subscribe. Reach out to me on all your favorite social media platforms. Link in the description below.